we have created unrealistic expectations for what is expected of a college football coach right now. James Franklin pulled Penn State out of the ashes of the frickin' Joe Paterno and Sandusky issues, brought them to be a team that is worth having a conversation about for national championships. I mean, we got to give credit where credit is due, but at the same time, it's like how many games is actually acceptable to lose before we have the conversation about whether or not you should lose your job?
My martini's 31 and no need to test me. On my worst behavior, but at least I'm with my besties.
Light them up if you got them.
Let's see who we can offend this week, Chris.
Welcome this episode of Sports Uncorked. Cheers. What are you drinking today?
Okay, so I have this canned wine, which I think I had this like back in season 1, and I kind of forgot how much I liked it. It's called Bev Glit. It's a bubbly white carbonated wine. What I love about it, it's 100 calories, less than 1 gram of sugar, 11% alcohol. So bang for buck without a lot of sugar and therefore no hangover, right?
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. So I bought these transparently. There's a grocery store going out of business near me, and I went in and they had like all of their wine 60% off. So
Yeah.
I went in and cleared the good stuff off the racks and then bought a lot of this canned stuff just to try.
I can like see the visual of you just like walking down the street with 2 cartfuls of
I know it
wine.
was an embarrassing amount. I think my receipt total was like you saved $400 and something. A manager had to come over and
Make sure
say
you
that
weren't
this was
selling
a
to minors.
legitimate amount of savings. Yeah. So thank
Having
you,
a party.
Safeway.
Amazing.
So we're I wanted to actually light this up, but then I remembered I'm allergic to tobacco, which is a big bummer. But I
Also,
thought
we're inside of our houses, which
also
like
we are inside of our
it's
houses. But I
I
thought it
burned
might be fun to
yeah.
have the audience watch my lips like expand like Kim Kardashian lips over the like sequence of a 30 to 45-minute podcast here.
This will be
We'll save
great.
that gem for another day.
That's
But
hilarious.
what a
I love that.
win. What a
What a
win last
win.
week.
Revenge tastes so sweet. I don't know if you saw this, but there were a lot of Instagram posts that went out over the last couple of days, and it was like people that had come from Ireland and Canada and the UK, and they were like, well, this is our first college football experience. And like they chose the Alabama versus Tennessee game to come to America and have their first college football experience. And I was like, you know what? I don't blame you, because that is the one to attend if you're going to experience the beauty that is college football.
I agree. I feel like if that's your benchmark, everything else is never going to live up to that hype. Like you better just go
Ever.
straight to Tiger Stadium for a night game.
Ever.
But
Yeah.
that's got to be the thing that is on par / I don't know, not better than a night game in Tuscaloosa, but I don't know. It's a bucket list situation.
For sure. For sure. And I think that's really fun. I think that's one of the things that we talked about with Adriana on a past episode. It's just like, if you're going to do college football, there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. And I think that third weekend in October in Tuscaloosa is a perfect thing for that list. So, God, I just can't even imagine. I wish I'd been there.
Did you see that DeBoer was like, hey guys, don't get your cigar ashes on my black hoodie. This is
Wait.
kind of like a precious thing.
I did see that, which is
Yeah, it was
hilarious.
awesome.
Also, it's
Your
sold
impression.
out everywhere. You can't even buy a black Alabama. I can't even believe that this is a thing. You can't buy a black Alabama hoodie anywhere right now. It's sold out everywhere.
And it's
insane.
already in the Bryant Museum, which is crazy, right? That's already like memorialized as a thing. It was
It's
at the beginning
insane.
of the season. It wasn't embraced at the beginning of the season, but it's
No.
embraced in there.
Oh my God. I just didn't think that our entire season was going to be based on apparel. I never thought that in 100 years. Ever. But
Well,
here
hey,
we are.
it's working. It's
Yeah,
working.
for sure.
We went our 4th straight ranked game against a ranked team, and that's the first time in SEC history that has ever been done. And with that 4th win, we now have the title of winning more games against ranked opponents than any other team all season.
Yep.
In the NCAA. I mean, I'm fully on the Bama bandwagon. Also, I think the media is fully on the Bama bandwagon, as this is a team that has pulled their shit together, got it figured out, and we're SEC championship bound. We have to be.
We have to be. New rankings coming out. It is just wild watching the movement that has been in the rankings over the last couple of weeks. But my, have the mighty have fallen and how Alabama has like rise back up to it's an insane amount of movement, which is crazy because I typically wouldn't question it, but there has just been a lot of changes since week one, even from a lot of teams that started out at the very, very top, cough, cough, Texas, cough, cough, Penn State, looking at you guys. Just, it's madness, but that's why we love it.
I know. How hard were you screaming last Friday night? It's hard to believe it was only a week ago when Miami was going down to Louisville.
Listen,
I was like, Carson Beck's becking again. This is what we thought was going to happen. This is what he did at Georgia.
mhm.
Like, Oprah's given out interceptions. I say it multiple times. You get an interception. You get an interception. He is back to becking.
What's crazy is that like we bet money that he was not going to do well at the beginning of the season, that he wasn't going to find his stride until right around now, week 8, week 9, week 10. Opposite, complete opposite. I think he started out the season, it made Miami look like something. It kind of made all of us think like Cam Ward who, but now look at him. I think also that's just, I don't mean that in a bad way, but that's kind of how Georgia operates. Like they aren't second half teams. They don't have second half players all of the time. But yeah, he's definitely losing steam. He obviously is losing focus on something, but who knows? There's probably like another piece of tail that he's chasing down there. And that's why he's not paying attention to the things that he needs to, like where his receivers are and knowing the difference between his receivers and the opposing team's receivers. Like, get it together, dude. I know your eyes are like not where they should be, but they should be focused on your receivers and not anybody else.
Yeah, it was almost like there's literally another one.
Right.
I kind of
Yeah.
thought he's going to be comeback kid. He's not going to
Yeah.
let this happen, right? And Louisville's a great team with
Hmm.
Miller Moss from USC transferring and taking the helm.
Yep.
I I was really proud of Miller. Like, I thought he was a great quarterback at SC. Was sad to see him transfer, but obviously some of the learnings that he had from Lincoln Riley are
Hmm.
transferring into his play at Louisville. They're a great team, and I was happy to see Miami be exposed.
Yeah.
How they really didn't play anybody, right? And I think that was absolutely exposed. So, do I think that Miami still has a chance to like win the ACC? Absolutely. Do I
Yeah.
think they're going to be challenged?
For
Yes.
sure.
But the
Yeah.
ACC, it's down, right? It's
Listen, the
down this year with
ACC is looking tough this year. Like, I mean, I told you at the beginning of the season, I am a Georgia Tech fan this year. The ACC looks tough. Like, I'm ready to play an ACC school. That is going to be fun football.
tough or rough. Like I was going like the rough.
No,
Georgia
I
Tech's
think the
great.
ACC looks good right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Who looks good besides Georgia Tech?
I mean, Clemson
Miami?
doesn't look amazing, but they look better than freaking Syracuse.
3-4? Like, Dabo's gotta get fired.
Wait, Abo's not going to get fired.
He has to get fired.
No,
He's
he
running his
can't.
mouth like he is the king of all shit.
They are not going to fire Dabo Swinney. They're never going to do that. There are a list of other great segue, actually. There are a list of other coaches that should be losing their jobs before Dabo Swinney loses their job. But great pivot reach, because I think that is a good segue into talking about the coaching carousel. I cannot believe that we've had not just one Black Sunday, but we're gearing up for a second Black Sunday where like a lot of people lose their jobs. But like on the heels of this James Franklin interview that happened on College Game Day last week, it got me thinking a little bit about this coaching carousel. Like, it's our own fault. It is our own fault. We did this with the University of Texas and Arch Manning, but we have created unrealistic expectations for what is expected of a college football coach right now. And like, you and I were texting back and forth during ESPN Game Day, and like, I think you made a really good point. James Franklin pulled Penn State out of the ashes of the frickin' Joe Paterno and Sandusky issues, like brought them to be a team that is worth having a conversation about for national championships. I mean, we got to give credit where credit is due, but at the same time, it's like how many games is actually acceptable to lose before we have the conversation about whether or not you should lose your job?
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think everyone loses sight of the fact that you can't be expected to win every game. And yes, James Franklin has issues and a reputation of not being able to win the big one. But who are you going to get that is going to do a better job than him. And you have to, again, respect what he has done for that program. I mean, they were one or two plays away from playing for a national championship last year, and
Mhm.
that got completely disregarded in this. Well, we lost 3 games in a row. We lost to UCLA. We lost to blah 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 blah. Like, are the boosters championing this? There's been rumors that Adidas and their new sponsorship, which great, take the most boring football uniform in college football and then put it with the most boring
Right.
sports logo out there. Great. Like,
Right.
that Adidas had some kind of influence over this too. So I don't know what to think. I agree with Nick Saban that James Franklin was wronged. For
Mhm.
him to be completely blindsided by this is not
Mhm.
fair. But you
Mhm.
know what? Like, I am fully supportive of him going somewhere else, taking the roster of players that he had recruited that have decommitted, which is up to like 18 now,
Mhm.
taking that roster with him and going to do it somewhere else.
I agree.
Like, he has a fire under him now like he's never had before, and you can
Mhm.
look to Unhappy Valley for that.
Yeah, for sure. And like, I was having a conversation yesterday and I think like there is something worth, taking into consideration, but like I feel like the real question at the end of the day is do we have the right people under the microscope when it comes to some of these records at some of these schools? Like this is an odd comparison. As far as like contractual payments go, Lane Kiffin makes the same amount of money as Stoops at Kentucky. Look at the difference between those programs. So, are we looking at, I feel like we're looking at the wrong person. Maybe we don't need to be looking at the coach. Maybe it's time to shift focus to the athletic director at some of these universities. I think that's something that we need to take into consideration. Cough, cough, I'm looking at you, Auburn, because you seem to be not really taking care of your program. You're just shaking hands in the background, making things happen. But are you making the right things happen? That's something that we probably need to take a look at.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel bad. Like, Billy Napier lost his job, but like, how much longer was the athletic director going to let Florida get the hardest freaking schedule in college football year after year?
I know, and
Fight for your team.
I don't think that the AD wanted to fire Napier. I think he got pressure from the boosters.
Right.
I mean, Napier won the game last week, but the
Mm-hmm.
fans are still chanting loudly in the stadium, "Fire Napier."
Mm-hmm.
Like, at what point do you, as the athletic director, feel like you can make the calls
Right.
and and tell the boosters, like, "Are you serious? You're gonna pull your money if I don't fire the coach?" And what's all this business about firing coaches in the middle of the season? Like, at least
Like,
Florida
that's going to
State said,
help.
"We'll evaluate it at the end of the year." So now
Yeah.
the rest of your year is just gonna be trash? That never
But
happened, right?
not every school is as lucky as, say, a UCLA to go from having a trash season to being like, I mean, we are
But
literally
say
going into this week. We've got Indiana on upset alert against UCLA, and their coach was fired in the middle of the season. So I don't know. It's a weird spectrum.
it is. I mean, this just never happened. And it's almost like, are we just trying to make statements like, you lose a game and you're on the chopping block immediately? Because that's kind of what it feels like.
Unrealistic expectations that have been set by the fans of college football. That's exactly what is happening here. And I mean, think about it. We were ready to string up Kalen DeBoer by his toes after we lost to FSU. And we had already, like,
Not
right
all of
here
us
was
were,
true. But
for the
right
record.
here, I was ready to like burn my Alabama jersey. I was ready to burn my diploma. I was like, I am not with this school. You talked me out of it. But I'm just saying, like, the fans are just as guilty as the boosters at this point. Just like we thought that Arch Manning was the second coming of Jesus Christ, and he has not done anything. I sat in the stadium in Lexington last weekend and I watched Arch Manning get absolutely pummeled by the Kentucky Wildcats.
A game Texas should not have won that game. I
They
genuinely
shouldn't
felt
have.
bad for Kentucky.
So did I.
Genuinely.
So did I. I'm becoming a fan of every school right now because I'm just like, I was their root. I was like, let's go Cats. It's insane. I mean, we really have set ourselves up for a lot of the emotional damage that's happening right now because of college football. It's our own fault.
So I heard someone refer to the coaching carousel as like college football's version of the dating app. Everyone's swiping every direction. Some matches work out, some matches don't. A lot of ghosting is happening. We don't know who's going to get matched up, but there's always somebody that ends up crying in the back of the car. It's like Love is Blind. I'm not a
It's a
reality TV show person, but I've been, like, into this train wreck because it's, like, Denver-based, this most recent season, and God, why is this show still on TV?
I don't
It's a
know, but it's so
disaster.
boring. I can't even get past like, Love is Blind fan right here. Haven't been able to get past the 4th episode. I am bored to tears.
They're
Like,
all
my
so
favorite
immature.
they're so immature. Also, like, my favorite part of the whole freaking show is the one guy that hasn't matched with anybody who hears all of these guys coming in from these terrible dates, and he just sits on the couch and he's like, "Damn." Like, that guy is a spirit. He's like, "I'm not engaged in any of this drama. I don't even have a girlfriend." Bro, you just got broken up with? Damn. That's all he's
Damn.
doing. It's great.
I'm here for the drinks.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. I'm here
I'm
for the
everyone's
room and
support
board.
system. I'm going to all the weddings. I'm going on the trips. It's great.
Yes. Oh my god, it's hilarious. Um, but yeah, wild stuff happening. I'm trying to think what else was going on last week that was kind of like because I was sitting in the stadium watching the Alabama game on my phone
I
when
know. I was, like, genuinely worried about you when you were like, I'm not wearing Alabama to the game. I'm wearing Kentucky blue." And I'm like, "Wait, you're actually going to that game and you're not watching the Bama game?" You're like, "Oh, no, 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 no. No, no, no. I got the whole setup here.
all of the
It's
phones,
streaming on the phone." Yeah.
all of the phones were in use. God, LSU last week.
We had 9 top 25 teams lose, which was insane.
Insane. That's the
So
beauty of it, I guess.
yeah, yeah, it was a wild week. So we had Miami, Ole Miss, Texas Tech, LSU,
Mhm.
Tennessee, USC, Memphis, Utah, and Nebraska all go down, which was insane. And there are just 3 undefeated teams that remain in college football. So Ohio State, which will they lose to anyone? I don't know. Probably
I
not.
just You know what's wild? So here's a weird stat. Ohio State has continued to stay number 1 in the rankings this entire season. Ironically, while their ranking has not changed, they have lost viewership. The highest amount of viewers that they've had all season is when they played Texas. Ever since then, it's been hovering between 4 and 6 million viewers every single game. Like,
Wow.
is this hurting them? Because now they're not getting the exposure that they worked so hard to get with their $20 million roster. No one's even watching them.
Well, I mean, maybe your conference should get it together and become more competitive.
I mean, we're not asking much.
Yeah, just like have some strength of schedule and then we'll tune in.
Right. Yeah, let us know when you're not playing Marshall and UNLV and
Northwestern and yeah, and when Michigan State's good again and when Michigan's good again and when USC, which USC
right.
doesn't have a squad, but not
Yeah.
Oregon. Yeah, you don't even play them. Penn State's down. Like Iowa, is that going to be your big game this year? Are you going to play Hawkeyes close? No.
I guess. I mean, I hate Ohio State, so I don't know, but I also feel like maybe everyone else is kind of just like, yeah, there's I don't it's just funny because when other teams are winning, you see that viewership go up, but like nobody's watching Ohio State on TV right now, and I think that's just absolutely wild.
There's better games on.
Better
Speaking of
games.
better games on, all of the good games this weekend, as much as everyone likes to poo-poo on the SEC, it's the only good games on. All of the ranked versus ranked games are all in the SEC, and this is the part of the season where we start to cannibalize each other.
Yeah, basically.
Like, again,
Bloodbath
strength of
season.
schedule, right? I mean, it's
Right.
like, okay, so we're gonna have some 3-loss teams that are way better than last week on game day. It was like an inordinate amount of time trying to figure out who that 4th Big Ten team would be because they're dedicated to get 4 spots in the college football playoffs. And we can't even decide if there's who the 4th is. Washington the 4th team? Is USC the 4th team? I'm like, why do they get 4 spots if there's not 4 deserving schools?
Because
Do they
that was
get 4
their
spots? It's like, I
It
was just
doesn't make any
shaking my
sense.
head.
It doesn't make any sense, but that's their way of trying to I don't wanna say play the victim, but yeah, play the victim. They were like, "Oh, well, every time we turn around, it's an SEC school in the spotlight." Yeah, because it's better football. Like, why is it our fault? That's not our problem. You guys get your conference together, and then we can talk about, like, your deserving spots, but it's a placeholder. It's also a, consolation prize for their conference. It's so dumb. I don't know why. Like, you know what? If you need it so badly, go ahead, take your 4 spots, but, like, just know that you didn't deserve it.
Yeah,
It's given to you
I
out of
just
pity.
thought, isn't this what we're trying to avoid is like a certain number of spots being allocated to teams that don't deserve it.
Uh-huh.
Isn't that kind of what we're trying to fix? And now we're
Yeah.
like, who would be a deserving fourth?
Nope. The money is talking.
Washington. We landed on Washington. That was, and I
Well, I'm
don't
not gonna
even.
lie. It's getting a little painful for me to watch game day every Saturday. So I don't know. At this point, I'm just like, you guys keep talking about whatever you feel like is relevant, but this is not like we got to move to the next conversation because this is not doing it for me.
And call us because we will be a bright segment every week.
Oh,
Voice
yeah.
of the fans.
Voice of the
That
fans.
would, I feel like we could do voice of the fans, talk of the town. Like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, we'd love
We could be,
that.
we could be out there in the student section getting the sound clips you need.
I just want to go to like the local bars and restaurants, highlight the town,
Hmm.
talk about what the drink and the game day situation is, and
Hmm.
then like highlight the town a little bit. I feel like
Oh, yeah. Oh,
that's what
yeah.
game
What's
day
our
used
segment gonna be
to
called?
be.
Like getting your sips in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what game day used to be about. It used to be about visiting colleges kind of all around the country and highlighting the spirit of that school. And now it's more about traveling to where the biggest ranked game is. So
Well,
I
it's
feel
like
like they
traveling to where
lost a
the
little
biggest
element.
ranked game is. I have not been like a massive fan of like any picker this year. Also, like, I don't want anybody to get hurt, but the next time that Pat McAfee gets on top of a chair and like doesn't fall and break his neck, I'd be really shocked. Like, I think we all need a friend like Nick Saban to hold our chair while we stand up, which is it also, it's like on wheels and it's got the pump action, bro. Like, that's not stable. You need four legs on that thing if that's what you're going to do every week.
It's a huge liability, and we're just
Yeah.
waiting for the crash and burn, right?
No, that's what we're either waiting for Pat McAfee to fall off his chair, we're waiting for him to give away $3 million for some poor kid who's trying to pay for their way through college to kick a field goal unrealistically with Kirk Herbstreit holding the ball. Like, can we just like anything else? Anything
I
else?
mean,
We
these
don't even know
kids
what
are
the
gonna
names of these restaurants are that are bringing them lunch. Like last week when they were in Alabama, they were like, "Oh, Chuck's Fish, the best sushi in Alabama." Like, bro, like, we've all eaten at Chuck's Fish. Not the best sushi in the
and why
state
are
of
we bringing
Alabama.
sushi? Why are we not bringing, like, fried chicken and barbecue, like
Right.
what we're known
Like,
for?
why is Nick's and the Sticks not being, like, highlighted?
And
Yeah.
I feel like there are so many other things that made sense. When they brought
Quick
sushi out, I
Grill,
was
they
like,
should have brought a
"What is
giant plate of
happening?"
messy fries.
I know.
See,
Like, how
you're
much
right.
did Chuck's
ESPN,
Fish pay for
call
that spot?
us. We've got a lot of suggestions. The suggestion box for you guys from us is overflowing. Please give us a call.
Yeah, and Bristol, we know you listen.
Yeah, and listen, if we find out that you have a segment called Getting Your Sips In that comes on game day in the next 4 days, I am calling my lawyer. Like, this is not a joke. You are stealing all of our ideas.
All right, so for game day this week, if you would have told me that Vanderbilt just continues to be a story and Pavia popping the Heisman, I didn't know that if you just pop the Heisman, then your name all of a sudden rises to the top of the list for consideration for Heisman, but that seems to be like what's happening. So Vanderbilt and Missouri are playing this weekend. Vandy's number 10, Missouri's 15, and that's where game day is going to be. Columbia, Missouri. Woohoo.
Or is it Nashville?
Think Is it in Nashville? I thought it was in Columbia.
I think
No,
it's
you're right. It
yeah,
is in
it's in
Nashville. It is in
yeah, so
Nashville.
it is
Oh,
in
that's even
Nashville
better.
because it's the first time that they have had game day there since like 93 or something like that, which I guess is great because it's just in time because their end zone is finally finished.
So I take all of that back. Nashville's a badass place. Awesome.
Yeah.
And I did see Nate Bargatze as the guest picker, who I love him, and he actually is a college football fan, not trying
Yes.
to come on to promote some new album or something that's going on. He's like
Mhm.
genuinely a huge Vanderbilt fan. So that's
Yeah, I
awesome.
just don't ever wanna see Theo Vaughn on game day ever again. I don't like that guy.
And why the only time that we have a guest picker that doesn't pick for the school and the campus in which they are there to represent? He came to Tuscaloosa and picked Vanderbilt. Like,
Yeah, but also he picked Vanderbilt because he was like, that's my ride home because I rode here with them on the jet."
and also,
Also,
like,
you
I'm
try to, like,
dating
hit
Pavia's
on one
mom.
of the and you try to hit on one of the reporters, like, ick.
Yeah, he's gross.
Biggest ick of the freaking weekend. Theo Vaughn on game day. I said what I said.
All right, so who you got in that game? You got Vandy, you got Missouri.
Hope Missouri absolutely drags Vanderbilt. But that's just me because I'm not a fan of Pavia. But unfortunately, it's looking very favored towards Vanderbilt. Their home game, they've got the crowd is 100% behind them, even though I hate to say it, like Pavia was incredibly accurate when he played last week, but not against, I mean, obviously Alabama got up on him, but he's an accurate passer, but you have to be when you're 30 years old. So I've got money, unfortunately, on Vanderbilt, even though I hope that I am miserably incorrect, and I hope Missouri drags them, but I got money on Vandy.
Yeah, I agree. Missouri has struggled with moving the ball like north to south. They move it a lot
Mhm.
east to west. If they can figure out how to move the ball north to south, I think they've got
Mhm.
playmakers. I think they've got great receivers. I think their quarterback is good enough to take on Vanderbilt's defense, but they got to figure out a way to get their playmakers involved and move the ball north to south. I still
Mhm.
think Vanderbilt at home's got this game, and I think they kind of got it big.
Yeah, I think Vanderbilt's got this.
The other very interesting game in the SEC that's ranked on ranked is Texas A&M. Undefeated Texas A&M is
Mhm.
traveling down to Baton Rouge for a night
Mhm.
game against the LSU Tigers.
Mhm.
I think this is a must-win game, and we say this every week for Brian Kelly. This
Mhm.
one, he's gotta win this one.
He
I
has
mean,
to win this. Otherwise, again, we've already got an impending another Black Sundays. Brian Kelly is absolutely on the watch list. So this is going to be, my God, this is going to be such a good game because like LSU's offense has just not gotten it figured out. And it's so hard to watch. So used to like LSU's offense being like a powerhouse. And like, even though the Aggie offense isn't necessarily easy to deal with, I just like Texas A&M is looking like a very complete team and up against an LSU team that's not looking like they have all of their ducks in a row. I think A&M's got their number. I really do. It's sucks because like you're right. LSU needs to win. I hate when LSU is not good.
I if LSU doesn't win this game, they are out of the playoff contention. This would be a third loss. It would be a blow to their system and morale, obviously. I watched Texas A&M struggle mightily against Arkansas last week. I am going to go the opposite and say that LSU is going to win this game. They're going to hand Texas A&M their first conference loss and their first loss of the season. And
Okay.
I think Nussmeyer is going to have a game that we've been expecting to see from him all year long.
Really? Okay.
I do. I think the fans are gonna rally behind them. I think Brian Kelly's gonna have them ready to play, and
Mhm.
he knows and his players know that there's a lot on the line if they don't win this one. A win against a top 3 team gets them
Mhm.
back in that playoff conversation. It
Mhm.
gets that motivation that they need to run out the rest of the season. I mean, they still have
Mhm.
some big games ahead. I think that they need this more than Texas A&M needs this, and
Yeah.
we know that Tiger Stadium is a hard ass place to play
Hard to play
in the
Tiger
night.
Stadium at
So
night. Yeah.
I think that LSU's got a real opportunity here to beat A&M. It's a bitter rivalry too. It is a
Mhm.
bitter rivalry.
Well, there's a 2.5 point spread. Everyone picking A&M, so I guess we're gonna wait and see. But that is a game to watch this weekend.
Yeah, that's
Golly, the other game that is high on my watch list. Number 8, Ole Miss at number 13, Oklahoma. Oh my goodness. I actually am a little worried for Ole Miss on this. I think that they have done like such an amazing job. Lane Kiffin has done an amazing job creating a very explosive offense. So they've got like what 15th or 19th ranked offense nationally, but going up against a 5th ranked defense at Oklahoma, it's it's going to be a little tough, which is crazy because I feel like Oklahoma has struggled in the past. They've not looked great, but we all had our money on John Mateer and how awesome he's been doing all season. It's so tough to pick who's going to win on this, but like Oklahoma has a more complete defense than Georgia. Like, and Georgia gave Ole Miss, like, I just don't know if Georgia gave well, I don't know. I mean, like, Georgia is also like a nonsense game again, but like Georgia not having like a complete defense, I think Oklahoma's going to come for they're gonna come for the Rebels. I guess that's what they are now, but they're on I mean, that's a upset watch game for me.
agreed. I think that Ole Miss's defense has been exposed and Batir can pick it apart, right?
Mhm.
also remember that Oklahoma is now one of Ole Miss's, like, in-game consistents for the next 3 years, and Lane
Huh?
Kiffin expressed, like, why? Like, "We don't even care about Oklahoma," essentially, right? Like, "Why are we
Right.
playing them? Why are they one of our, like, at-home permanent games that we have to play?" I
Yeah.
think that's gonna play a little bit into their minds, and this is gonna be the beginning of a rivalry because they're gonna play for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
So I think that that's another, like, kinda added element to this, but I agree. I think that the loss Ole Miss's loss last week probably got into their heads a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's been some distraction on part of Kiffin with all the Florida coach talk, some of these other
Mhm.
openings that could
Mhm.
be distracting him, but I think Oklahoma wants and needs this game more, and with it is it in Norman? It's in Norman, isn't it? Yeah, I think this is another upset alert.
Yeah, I think you're
The
right, and good point. I for
cannibalization in conference.
No, you're 100% right, and I think, like, going back to the whole Florida job stuff, like, the not only is that a distraction for the coach, but that's a massive distraction for the team as well.
Yeah.
When you're, like, on the cusp of losing your coach, that puts a lot of heads in the wrong space, so that's a great point.
So we'll see. I might have to open my betting app for the first time this season. I've really been steering away from it, but after last weekend, I was like, I knew a lot of these games were going to be
I
upsets. I should
know.
have put money on them.
I know. Alright.
So the other game that you touched on, there's not a lot outside of the SEC that's interesting. I mean, we've
Right.
got Indiana, UCLA.
Mhm.
Which I think we've been wanting to see Indiana if they can repeat
Mhm.
the performance that they had against Oregon, right?
Yep.
To see, like, was that a fluke? I don't think it was a fluke. I think they're actually a very, very good team, and I can't wait to see them play Ohio State, not in regular season, but in the Big Ten championship. I think that'll be very, very interesting to see how those two match up. UCLA, like you mentioned, has some momentum like we've not seen. Nico is licking up, like,
UCLA is
every
looking
single
hot
bit of
right now.
this. Yeah.
Yep.
He's getting the press that he wanted. I still think Indiana's gonna beat the crap out of him.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree, but also, like, upset watch. I don't know
Upset watch for
why.
you?
Uh-huh. I don't know why, but there is something about this new life that's been breathed into UCLA with their interim coach leading. It's gonna be something to watch, you know? Again, they are riding this momentum from their last, what, 3 wins, which was, like, absolutely insane. I can't believe, like, your head coach has to leave in order for your team to get better. But I guess that's just how it is sometimes. And so I think UCLA they're not gonna make it easy for the Hoosiers.
And new Heisel, AKA Aaron Carter on the sidelines is doing a bang up job. Calling offensive plays for UCLA. I should add that in,
Mhm.
but Nick Carter with his great hair,
Luscious locks.
his 24-year-old self, or how he looks like a baby.
Yeah.
Another team that I will never care about is BYU. I know they're ranked 11th. I can't
I know, but
make
the Holy
myself
War was
watch
such
one
a
of those
good game.
games. I literally could not bring myself to watch any part of the Holy War. I don't know why. Like, I just don't get excited about watching BYU. But they're playing Iowa
I
State, which
know.
should be a good game.
Yeah, I am same. Not as excited about this game, but it is something to watch. I think that Iowa State has kind of been on watch all season. We've kind of just been waiting to see when they're going to like really impress us. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I've got money on BYU. Iowa State could shake them a little bit. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a close game.
Yeah, I think Iowa State has a chance to win this game big. Not big, but by a touchdown.
Yeah.
And upset BYU. I just don't care about the Big 12 in general, I think.
Yeah. It's no, what are there
It's just
12
not
teams
fun to
even in there?
watch.
Like, I'm just
It's just
be
like
more
it's
fun
like
to
not
watch.
relevant. There's
Exactly.
there's no teams in that conference that I feel like are relevant.
No, no one
I mean,
cares. It's
Texas
not
Tech,
fun.
I do like Texas Tech. Okay, Texas Tech has put together a great NIL roster that has risen to prominence, but
Yeah.
outside of that, like, I whatever.
Well, we'll see. We will see. I know that we've got some games that are absolutely worth watching. There's some games that we're going to be watching the ticker on, but I don't know. I think that's kind of it. Kind of like a slow week 9. Week 10 will probably be a monster,
Yep.
maybe.
I'm excited to, and I think this is the week, no, it's next week that we have the first college football playoff committee ranking
Mhm.
reveal.
Yep.
So this is really that kind of that last week for teams to put together their resume to kind of correct. Because I do feel like where you're placed in that first ranking
Mhm.
really dictates a lot about your upward mobility and also like your downward mobility. So
Yeah.
you really want to try to be in that top 16 in order to
Mhm.
get your name on the board for consideration because those are really the teams that it seems like they're going to be watching.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of teams have an opportunity to make a splash in a last-ditch effort, kind of ahead of those first rankings being revealed.
I
Well,
gotcha.
all right, sis. Cheers.
That's all I got. That's all she wrote this week.
Well, it was fun to catch up. Everyone, thanks for tuning in. We will be posting along on social media over the weekend. Feel free to
Yep.
follow us, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Would love to hear your thoughts and anything that you would like to hear from us.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we're excited for this weekend, and we look forward to seeing you all next week.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I love you like la